noticed I've got a bit of a chin curtain beard here, and this is basically in honour of one of my personal heroes, Abraham Lincoln, who basically in the late 1840s saved Ireland from the potato famine by single-handedly manning a ship with 300,000 potatoes on it, all the way from America to Ireland. And apparently it took him 6 weeks. Fred, could I just have a little chat with you for a second?
Yeah, sure. Well, what do you need?
Actually, it's more what you could do for yourself, you see. We need you to do a rework from last year.
Yeah. Let me just finish this project, and I'll be with you.
Yeah. The thing with that is, this work, you're not really being graded on it, so it really doesn't matter. So I'd rather you focus on this project and you know, get the grade, something you're getting marked on, rather than do this pointless piece of crap.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'll get on that now.
Great. Now, please.
Yeah.
For God's sake. Question 1 was, of course, who is the biggest dickhead in the whole of the UK? And of course, the answer to that was David Cameron. So I think we can assume that pretty much everyone got that. Question 7: how many times have I planned to quit this job in this week alone? And the answer is 67 times, or as we'd say at this in this company, 6 and 7, 67 times. Sometimes people come up to me and they say, Tim, you know, great minds think alike, you know. And I just think to myself, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course they don't. You know, it's like when Stephen Hawking went back in time to create the universe. Do you think people were saying to him when he got back, you know, it's great, you know, I mean, I like what you've done, you know, you've created the universe and everything in it. It's just that, you know, I kind of feel like Albert Einstein could have done that as well. No, of course I weren't saying that to him. A few weeks ago, I made a statement in a video in which I said, say yes to drugs. Unfortunately, I have received a lot of complaints because people seem to think that when I said that, I was advocating the use of marijuana, cocaine cola, Black Widow heroin, Sonic Speed Hog, ecstasy, crystal maths, and perhaps the worst drug of them all, TheDoctorAnd. What would you say your strengths are? Well, I'd say that one of my biggest strengths is my sense of humour, you know, because I make people's lives better through the medium of laughter. So, you know, and I don't accept any criticism for my comedy, you know, because some people, you know, they try and think of flaws in it, but it's obvious that they've just made them up, you know, they can't spot any real flaws, so they make stuff up, you know, and it's just so obvious, you know, it's like if I do this now, you know, look at that, look at what's in my hands now, nothing exactly, yeah, and you know, I could be doing this for years, you know, without stopping, even when I'm in my sleep, and you know, I'd still have nothing in my hands, right? So, and that's what, you know, it's like when people criticise my comedy, you know, they're basically, you know, there's nothing to criticise, you know, because my comedy has been finely crafted through at least 8 generations. So, jokes from me. What weaknesses would you say you have then? One of my weaknesses, probably again, my comedy. I know I said that was my strength, but it can also be a weakness because, you know, sometimes it can be a bit too good for morale. For example, I was going into work one day, and this was about 8:45, and you know, there was an ambulance outside, so I thought, oh, what's going on here? You know, as you would, and you know, suddenly I saw, you know, one of my colleagues being wheeled out, and I said, you know, I had to go up to my manager and say, hey, do you know what's up with Sheila? You know, I just seen her getting pushed out on one of those ambulance bed things, you know, whatever they're called. And you know, he said, yes, she knew you were coming in today, and know, she knew you were coming in today, and she laughed herself into a coma. You know, apparently she's still in the coma, and it's been about 3 months now. And yeah, so yeah, sometimes my jokes can be lethal, but you know, just think, is it worth it? And most often the answer is yes. And when you do finally get an interview after 2 months of applying, they say to you things like, oh, you know, tell me about yourself. Well, if you're honest on that question, good luck getting the job, son. So tell me about yourself. Well, I masturbate twice a day, and all the filmmaking jobs are half the country away, so I've got to settle for this poxy retail job instead. Because when you think about it, think back to the early days of humanity. You know, when the first humans were coming up with the very first inventions, what humanity ever come up with, yeah? Who did they look up to for inspiration? No one. Yeah, because there was no one to look up to at the time. You know, and it's just the same with this. You know, no one's ever tried my idea before, so I don't look up to anyone when it comes to that. You know, because there's no one to look up to, frankly. And you know, and isn't it better to inspire people and be inspired by people? What it means by first is never enough is that, well, you know how they say second place is first of the losers, yeah? Well, it's a pretty similar situation with first. First is last of the winners. So think about it, even when you win, you really lose. So it's about teaching them to go for more, you know? Go for more than first place, yeah? Go for 0th place. Yeah, and what do you get for finishing in 0th place? Oh, I don't know. What's better than gold? Platinum. Short and sweet. That's what they say. So, you know, would you rather it short and sour? No, didn't think so. So.